Good afternoon, Facebook. I am Christine Glein, and I am the Chief Energy Officer here at the Game Changing Impact Group. I am absolutely delighted here today to share with you 5 secrets that you absolutely must know if you want to level up in the workforce. Before I do that, though, I want to tell you a little bit of story, and let's talk about what not to do with that. About 10 years ago now, I was involved in a turnaround where we were one of the 15 colleges in a division of a large higher education company. And I made a bad decision. My bad decision occurred about 6 months into the turnaround, and it revolved around my boss who knew how to push my buttons. Do you have any of those in your lifetime? Yeah, well, I was leading enrollment at the time, which is known as sales in higher education, for one of the larger campuses in the region that he supervised. And we were about a week out before the start of the semester and tracking for a nice overachievement on our new enrollments for the term. And I got a surprise visit from him. So I was psyched. I was like, cool, maybe he wants to tell me how great I am. So he wanted to review our enrollment numbers. Not a problem. I've always subscribed to knowing that my numbers need to be better than anyone else's for just this type of situation. So I took out my spreadsheet and I showed him the numbers, and I did keep it brief. I didn't get too detailed, remembering that less is more when speaking to upper management. Need to keep it crisp. I was very happy to share that we were tracking above our goal, right? In fact, about 5% above where we were budgeted. Well, he turns to me and says that 5% over is not good enough, that we need to be at least 10% over to cover the shortfalls for the rest of the region. I was like, what? Did I just hear that correctly? My overachievement is not enough? Oh my gosh, boy, did that strike me in the heart of the I'm not good enough self-limiting belief that I had at that time. I think most high achievers or overachievers have that. That's what makes us want to do it, right? If you feel like you're not good enough, you're always doing and overdoing. But instead of handling it with grace under pressure and looking to see where we could find more opportunity in the pipeline, I lost it. I couldn't believe and I couldn't contain myself. My emotions got the best of me because I was expecting to be praised for doing a great job. And instead, I was left holding a bag of it's not good enough. I thought I had taken all the bullets out of the gun, but I never even saw the right target. Well, ultimately, I did rally the team, and we were able to increase our enrollment slightly better than we had originally planned. Not the full 10% that he wanted, but enough that it at least appeased my regional director because he felt like he was able to affect our numbers. And I suppose in some way he was. It took some focused effort to rebuild our relationship, and I did decide to leave after, the time I had committed to turning around the institution ultimately. But the story does have a happy ending. We did get the college out of the red and into the black within 7 months, and then made the company 22 million top line, 7 million bottom line the following year, and managed to be the top 5, the fifth best, most profitable school in a group of almost 70 institutions. So it was a very effective turnaround, and it did work, but I didn't come out of it without skinning my knees, and certainly not the best way to go about up leveling in the workplace. So now that I told you what not to do through my school of hard knocks, what I'm going to do now is to tell you what does work so that you can do it. Are you ready? All right, so I've got 5 tips I'm going to share with you. I have a lot more. And if you decide that you want to be a part of my game-changing leadership program, I'll be more than happy to share with you way more than 5 secrets. But for now, I'm going to give you 5. So the first one is, I referenced a couple of them, take the bullets out of the gun. What do I mean by that? Well, this is an incredible expression that comes to me from one of my mentors, AKA the Think. Any of you out there who has ever worked with this incredible genius mentor of mine knows he has great euphemisms, and this is one of them that's always stuck with me. So take the bullets out of the gun basically means consider all the options, okay, that any upper management might think of. right? Before you present to them. Like think about the issues they might raise and then vet them out ahead of time. Like consider all the possibilities or outcomes. Even think about numbers from their perspective and not just yours, right? Sometimes we get so myopic in our own department, our own team, we don't think about how they see data from a larger view, right? And you want to take the bullets out of the gun because you don't want to get shot by the firing squad, right? You want to make sure that you look at the data on a more aggregated level, for the division or a company or the team. And you want to make sure that you break these big giant problems into smaller manageable items. All right, so that's essentially what take the bullets out of the gun means. The other thing that I think is really important is less is more, right? Keep it crisp. Don't overshare. A lot of times we get in front of upper management, we get really excited. We want to tell them and show them how smart we are and what geniuses we are. And we just kind of go at it and we give them way too much detail. And then what happens? They want to get into the detail and they want to get into the weeds. And then we go off on a tangent and then we lose the ability to be persuasive and wonderful. So remember, less is more. Keep it crisp, just like Bud Light. And that's number 2. Number 3 is also called the big 3. So when you are presenting to upper management, especially if you have a problem, I'm going to give you a bonus one. I'm going to make it 6. Make sure that you don't just dump a problem on somebody's lap, right? You always want to have a solution to a problem, or at least give them the idea that you've thought about things. But I would say bring your supervisor in earlier rather than later. I know that's really hard, especially when you're having a challenge or a problem and you're not like you want to solve it before bringing them in so that you can show them that you already fixed it and you didn't need their help and all that stuff. But sometimes those things spin out of control and then there's a bigger issue at hand. And then you're going to get in trouble for not verbalizing it sooner. I'm not talking about premature escalation. See what I did there? But I'm talking about making sure that you bring them in so that they're at least aware that you're working through something. So that if there is a trend or a challenge that could snowball into something, that you brought them in soon enough. Okay, so here's the big 3. This is number 3, the big 3. I just gave you a couple more in there. You guys are getting good stuff today. The first one is what happened? The second one is why did it happen? And the third thing is what are you going to do to ensure it never happens again? That's really the big 3. And again, that's a crisp way to share with upper management how you've solved an issue, right? And that's what we get paid to do. We get paid to solve challenges. I read something today, resistance is really self-sabotage. So we need to embrace the challenges, right? The rough edges, the sharp corners. That's what helps us grow. And it gives us an opportunity to share our genius too. All right, so that's number 3. So take the bullets out of the gun, less is more, keep it crisp, and the big 3. Number 4 is I suggest that you share your genius after you've accomplished the goal, after you've solved the problem, not before. And the reason being is, what if you go and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking about doing. This is how I think it's going to turn out. And this is how I think I'm going to adjust this process and did it. And it doesn't actually happen that way. Then you got to backpedal. You might even have egg on your face. So it's always better to go through it, achieve a goal, and then tell them how you did it, because then you look really smart. All right, that's number 4. Number 5, select a project that's really important to upper management. So what kind of projects are really important to upper management? Well, obviously, it always depends on, the management team, but there are certain things that are pretty universal in terms of, what could be important to upper management. So some of those projects include things that are tied to revenue, right? Improving revenue impact, improving cost savings, a process improvement. Maybe how do you make the customer experience even better? Initiatives that are tied to culture and values and corporate responsibility, any positive exposure for the company. Reduction in risk, maybe improving quality assurance, environmental impact if green initiatives are important to your company. But ultimately, what's really important is to know the company's mission, vision, and values, and make sure that you always try and tie any of those great ideas that you have back into those. And just keep in mind that, problems are really challenges, right? And any challenges that you come across are actually opportunities that show your ingenuity, your intelligence, and hopefully your game-changing leadership. So I've shared with you at least 5. I think I threw in a few extras because I was feeling generous today. At least 5 different ways to help get yourself up leveled within leadership. And if you're looking to up level even more, and you're interested in learning about my game-changing leadership coaching program, I would love to tell you more about it. And I'm happy to offer a free 30-minute laser coaching session for you, where I can share a few more of those great ideas and talk to you a little bit about my leadership program. I do have 2 spots open for private clients at the moment, and I will be starting in July. That's your next opportunity to work with me, a cohort of students as well. Sorry, I can't get out of that higher ed language. So a group, right? We'll have another group coaching opportunity in early July. So if you're interested in learning more, you want to find out more secrets, and you want to tap my brain, I would love to schedule time with you. So just give me a DM, and I will look forward to sharing with you then. I hope everybody here has a wonderful Wednesday full of lots of wins, and I will look forward to talking to you again next week. Until then, keep it real.